Alright guys, this is an app called Exiled Kingdoms I've been playing for a while. I did try and start recording a video of this before, but I had low storage space, so apparently it stopped partway through. So I'm going to have to start another new game on this. Now, Exiled Kingdoms has a free version and it has a $3.99 full version. You can still get through the main plot in the free version, but your level cap will be 8, which will make certain things a lot harder. You'll have less areas to explore, and just a few bits and pieces like that. So, it's still playable, but not as fun. Now, the full version... Oh, there are also 2 classes that are locked if you choose the free version. The magic user class is the cleric and the mage. And I am going to be doing... Up there in the top right, you can actually see my original game. I clicked continue, didn't I? Where I originally tried to continue this as a cleric. But you miss out on the start of the game if I do that, so I'm going to go ahead and do another new one, which can also show you guys the character creation. As you can see, you have warrior class, rogues, clerics, and mages. Now, warriors, obvious enough. Heavy hitters, good tanks. They have lots of options when it comes to armor and weapons. A lot of the best armor is warrior specific, and most of the heavier armor is only able to be worn by either warriors or clerics. Rogues, they can hit hard if you put your stats right. Their specialties are usually sneak attacks, and you want to have high stats in the 4 following, mainly. There are 6 stats in the game. I'll actually cover this later. Cleric, good, tough fighters. They can use some magic too. Not quite as tanky as warriors, but still a big threat. But most of the skills they can learn are oriented against facing undead. So they'll still have some buffs, but the true power is when you're raiding tombs and stuff. Mage, I don't know anything about yet. I haven't actually played that class. Now, obviously I'm going to play a guy because it'll be uncomfortable as a girl, and what's good? Why not? Hooded guy's always a good image for the mages. Alright, let's randomize the name a couple times. Trace Dozer. That's actually a kind of cool one. Dagor. I'll take it. And I'm going to be playing on normal difficulty. Ugh. I think I got hair on my mouth somehow. Yuck. Alright, let's continue. Now, these are the 6 stats you have in the game. Strength, that lets you hit harder, obviously, and does a couple other things. In fact, it gives you summaries right here. Its main effect is to increase melee damage, but as you invest more points in it, it can also increase your health. See? +1 damage with hand weapons. You know, normal weapons like swords, maces, and stuff. Some weapons require 2 hands, and this adds 1.5 point of damage for each point of strength for that. Half point of extra damage for each point using light weapons, which are what are best for rogue classes and stuff. And also for mages too, but as you can see, it's only half point. But each 2 points of it also gives you an extra hit point per your level. Yeah. So that means each time you level up, you're also getting points based on the stats you invested in for your health. Right? But I'm going for a mage, so I don't really need a lot of strength. Endurance, that's mainly your health stat. See? Each point gives you +5 base, and then 1 more for each level you have. It also gives you +5 resistance to poison and toxic stuff, see? Agility. This one's a very versatile stat, which it says so right here. First off, each point of it gives you +1 armor. So that means hits coming at you have reduced damage. It'll also give you +1 damage for each point with lightweight and ranged weapons. So like daggers, knives, bows, short swords, all those are going to get boosted by your agility stat. That's why you want to invest in it as a rogue character. Or since mages are primarily using wands for ranged weapons, you're going to want to go with agility as well for this stat. So I'm probably going to give a couple points into agility. It also gives you a plus 5% chance with unlocking things and disarming traps, or even setting them, if that's a skill you can have as a mage. But I'm pretty sure it's a rogue skill. Personality. This is where you get people to like you. And for priests, aka clerics, it'll give them their mana. And it'll make new conversation options available. And that's a biggie, so I'm going to be investing in this too. In fact, the 3 stats on the bottom row are all important for conversations, so you want to invest in those, because they can literally save your life at several points, help you avoid traps, get you out of sticky situations. In some scenarios, if you don't have the stats to unlock certain options, you'll actually get hit with penalties and damage and a lot of things like that. So yeah. I know it means a bit of extra grinding, but you're going to want to keep all 3 of your personality, awareness, and intelligence stats high. Trust me. Now, each point of personality gives 1 mana per their level to clerics. 2 points means you get it to mages, so it also benefits you to invest in there, but you get about half the return rate you would. Plus 5% chance to gossip. That means when you visit inns where you can rest up, heal, and save your game, you can also spend some gold to buy a round of drinks for people, and it'll cost you a couple hours in the game time, but it'll also let you hear rumors, which can help you with quests or the story, things like that. And it also gives you resistance to spirit damage, which is like when you get hit with debuffs like stun and paralysis. It also resists death, so obviously that would be good for clerics and stuff too. So clerics definitely want to focus on personality for, sorry, I can't talk apparently. Awareness, how you notice things around you. And as you can see, it does say it makes more options for conversations. Gives 5 perception, that's where you can notice secret doors and stuff in a dungeon. And again, it's useful in conversations because it will help you avoid bad situations. It gives you a bit more chances to gossip, but for every 2 points in the stat. For every 3 points, you get plus 1 armor. And it'll also help you avoid ambushes too occasionally. Believe me, it saved my butt on that once. Otherwise, I probably would have been insta-killed instead of having to fight my way out. And each 2 points gives you an extra damage with ranged weapons. So, good for rogues and mages. Intellect. This is a huge one, especially here as I'm playing a mage now. It decides your mana, how much you have, and each point of intelligence gives you plus 2% to the XP gain. So that's big for power leveling yourself. So this mage is probably going to level up pretty fast since I'm going to go heavy on intellect for him. And it also boosts your chance with traps and locks. And plus 5% chance perception. So it's also a good stat for rogues. So first I'm going to add 1 point of intellect. I don't want to go too heavy on things right now. So I'll add 1 point each for these, because I'm going to need them all. Now let's move on. And I get 1 skill point to help start me off. Now, I don't know any of the mage skills. These are the general skills. Skills you get for every class. I still don't know what the 4th one is. It might be something you unlock after you beat the game or something. I'm not sure. But gossip, this makes it more likely that you'll hear rumors and stuff. Dungeoneering, that helps you find traps and secret doors. Because yeah, awareness also increases your chances of spotting traps before they can hurt you. And that's going to be a biggie, trust me. Traps can do a lot of damage, and sometimes they can do debuffs too. And you'll have an option called recovery. It'll have an explanation in it later. This is pricey for a reason. Being able to use that more often a day really saves your butt. And it's not actually a daily thing. If you stay out all night in game time, training and stuff, you're not going to get your recovery back. You have to actually rest in order to recover that. Now let's check mage skills. Mage armor, an active skill. That means I have to actually activate it. Oof. Sorry if I sound croaky, my throat's starting to hurt. Now, this gives you a boost to your defenses for a bit of mana. Wear off after a certain number of hits or after 3 minutes. Plus 6 armor, that's good. Wears off after 3 hits, cooldown 5 seconds, and a mana cost of 3. Now, warrior and rogues can't actually use mana at all, I thought. But I did recently discover, I'm actually going to cover that later in the game because that's not important right now. Mana Surge. Ooh, that boosts your mana pool. Okay, that's definitely something to consider investing in a lot. Because I've seen people burn through mana so fast on here. Lesser Summoning? Ooh. That's a skill I'm definitely going to want. I like summoning stuff. Of course, it's the expensive one. Makes sense. Gives you an extra ally. Summon a familiar from the plane of energy to fight for you. Familiars aren't strong, but perceptive. Ooh. Yeah, that'd even be a good skill for rogues. Damn, I wish I could use magic as a rogue. Ooh. Sorry for my language. Ice Storm. Last 5 seconds, move randomly. 8 to 16 damage. Cooldown 3 seconds, cost 4 mana. Fireball. I mean, that doesn't need much explanation. Oh, but it can hurt your friends too when it bursts. That stinks. This has a chance to stun and goes straight forward. Oh man. I don't know who that is. So I'm actually going to ignore that. It might be from the time my mom had used my phone. Oy. Wand Mastery. So that's useful. So I guess that means there are certain benefits to using wands when you're a mage. It adds in some right there. Staff. Okay, so this is based on which the 2 types of weapon you prefer for your class. Alright. I am honestly gonna go with Mana Surge and boost my mana. And let's start up the game, shall we? Here's the lore. For millennia, the continent of Andoria was united and prosperous under the banner of the Great Empire. It seemed as if the empire would be eternal, forever strong and in peace, flourishing in science and arts. But every empire has to fall. Damn it, that's really an opportune location here. A century ago, the Deep Lords rose. They brought out creatures called horrors through magic portals from another world. What the horrors were, or what they looked like, has been forgotten. But in just a few weeks, the empire was overrun despite all its might. Only a few thousand survived, sailing away to the Isle of Aranar, an imperial colony but a savage and harsh land. Luckily, the horrors didn't follow. Those exiles endured the hardships, and to some extent tamed the land. They built farms, villages, cities, and castles. Then finally, the Exiled Kingdoms. We start off in Varsilia, there at the one on the right, near that little dot Lanagar. A century later for many, the Empire and the horrors are just fairy tales. As a young adventurer, you're more worried about your lack of work and an empty purse. But your luck has changed. You received a magical letter from New Garand, summoning you to collect a mysterious inheritance. This sounds promising. You'll remember having any relatives there, but you started the journey anyhow. While crossing the perilous Saga forest, you listen to disturbing noises ahead of you. And here's where proper gameplay begins. I am sorry about this little bubble. I'm gonna move it up here. And here's me, Dagor. As you can see, I have 1 point each of those 4 stats, like I said. This is your journal. It gives you a list of all your quests and stuff, and rumors you hear in taverns, too. Some are important, some are temporary. Now, see, mysterious letter. Here's my skills. Reputation. This shows how everyone in the game thinks of me. As I discover towns and stuff, it'll start adding them in. Right now, it just shows major groups and kingdoms that anyone would know about. As you can see, nobody has heard of me. And details just shows major stats. I wish I could move that over a little, but it won't let me. I've tried. See, armor. Subtract 0 to 2 from all physical attacks. So, there's some room for variation in that. You're not guaranteed to always reduce the damage of your amount of armor. But the higher your armor, it'll also increase the minimum amount, I believe. And, for example, if you have shields and stuff, it increases how much you block from projectiles. So that's why that stat's there. As you can see, I don't have much damage bonuses yet. And my odds are low for just about everything. And there's a bunch... I don't know why it only lists those 3 categories. There are a lot more in here. But... And... Apprentice piece. Adds 3 to mana. Adds 4 to mana. And... That's something to keep in mind. But since it's a ranged weapon, what I've learned using bows as a rogue is... I'm not sure if this also matters for the wands and stuff, but 0 of 300 health, I hope that's... Oh wait, no, that's experience points. Ugh. I'm the one playing this, I shouldn't have to get corrected like that. I'm hoping it doesn't mean I fumble a shot when they get close like it does with the bow when I'm a rogue. Because that could be a problem since I'm solo. Now explore. And yeah, it gives you little tips in this section. Interact with the world. Remember when they taught you never to talk to strangers or pick up things you find on the ground? In this game you can and should. Get close to people or items, and a button will appear in the upper right corner of the screen. There is no convenient place for this bubble. Get close to people or items, and a button will appear on the upper right corner of the screen. Ooh, I'm sorry. Yawning. Click it to interact. I'm just gonna... No, not there. No. This thing's a plague. There. I don't think anything shows up there. And loot. Oh, that's gotta be an issue for looting. But see? Kills out of boredom. Now, I'm not sure I need that right now. And there's a test attack. Luckily, the base attack doesn't take up mana. That's good. Oh, I just popped off a piece of my phone case on accident. I did go with the cheap one that came with the phone. Gamepad and attack button. Combat is simple. Just press and hold the attack button. You'll attack at full speed. You need to tap quickly, and then it makes you feel better. I tried that. It doesn't actually work. It might be a bug or something. Because I tried that, and then I was just standing there doing nothing. And when you attack, if you're not facing an enemy, you will auto-face the closest one in range. That's a double-edged sword, because occasionally it won't work, and sometimes it means you're going to orient onto enemies that you're not wanting to target. It's like you're trying to go for a guy with low health, but the auto-face will make you hit somebody else. So yeah. Keep an eye out for that. And... makes a funny little noise. But yeah, that was a goblin. And as you can see, I got some gold from him. 7 to be exact. Enemies won't always drop loot, but they will, and it depends on them. And something being high level doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to have good loot. Keep that in mind. Now, monsters and stuff won't always drop gold either. That's usually from like humanoid creatures or some types of undead. Like for example, ghosts, unless they're like special bosses, won't drop any loot. Or at least not dives. Yeah, that's where you want higher awareness. See, I just stepped into a trap that I couldn't detect. Makes me miss my rogue character right now a bit, because I have very high odds of detecting traps. And, oh boy. And you can't recover health if you're in the middle of a fight with that recover button. Uh-oh. So I'm probably about to, yep. First death already. So now I have to start back from the beginning here. I'll skip through all the tips and stuff, because we already heard all that. Yeah, I'm used to being tougher. This is bad for me. Oops. I got sloppy there. Yeah, that little yellow bar under your face, that's your experience. Let's see if I can try and draw one without getting the other. It doesn't always work, but when it does, it helps out a lot. So now... And, of course, it's a lot harder when you get surrounded by a bunch. Oh yeah, these are the guys that got me. Shoot! Oh man. And you don't want to get hit in the back because that increases damage. I was missing the button, wasn't I? Yep. Okay, so it did say mages were vulnerable in the early levels. I'm seeing what they mean. Dang. Okay, so guys, don't get mana surge like I did. You're going to want a heavy hitting attack, even if it does burn through your mana quick. Whew, boy. Well, at least by me making mistakes, you guys will learn to avoid the same ones. Like not walking in the same bear trap multiple times. So I'm gonna just avoid that this time. Hit. Oh, and it does slight knockback. Oh, that's right. That was one of the skills, too. It increases the knockback. Alright, don't step in it this time. Let's see if I can hit one before they start running at me. And instead of trying to run, just... boom. Now I'm gonna heal. Ooh, and this guy dropped loot. Take all is handy. And now equip, and I have slightly increased health. And a buckler, this is the only shield every single class can use. All the better shields, you have to be either a warrior or cleric. So, equip, and see, armor +1, health +3. So that's useful. And it doesn't leave the added in health as a blank space in your health bar, so that's useful too. And as you can see already, I'm a good bit tougher. Still probably shouldn't be soloing as a mage though. And incoming wolf. Now wolves and stuff, when they drop loot, all they drop is pelts of varying qualities and based on the type of wolf they are. Ugh. I can't talk apparently, because my throat hurts. And come on, die. And here we go. Adeon. Hello, friend. My name is Adeon. I'm traveling this road going west. Are you headed that way too? Hello. Yes, I'm going west, like you. As you can see, you get different options. Warning, sometimes they'll have penalties or rewards based on what you say in there. So be careful, and sometimes if you know you're about to have an important conversation, maybe do a quick save beforehand. I'll show you the button for quick save in a minute. Now, yes, I'm going west like you. The thing is, I scouted the road ahead, and there's a pack of goblins accompanied by a wolf. I'm not sure I can take them all by myself, to be honest. And my guy obviously can't either. Sounds dangerous. Fight them together. Good, lead the way. I think together we can do this. Now, I'm gonna need him up front, even if he's not too tough himself. And he's not a companion, so... As you can see, you can talk to the people working with you. Hey, pal! I'm a mage. You're supposed to be the one tanking. And see, I only drew in a few, so... Now, as it said, I need to sleep and in to regain uses of that button. Now, recover fully increases your health and mana back to start, and everyone traveling with you too. Mercenaries, companions, everyone. So that's really crucial. But as you can see, you get limited uses. And you can't use it in the middle of a fight or anything. You have to have no enemies nearby. And here it is. I think this place is perfect to camp until tomorrow morning. Don't you agree? Now, for this conversation, it doesn't really matter what you say anyway, by the way. Just a matter of personal preference, because it's all a fixed result in the end for this part. No. Glad to have a companion to help with the watch. As we prepare to camp, maybe we can know each other better. I'm going to Kingsbridge to find work as a scout. What about you? I prefer to keep my motives to myself. That's just asking to get robbed, saying you're going to inherit a fortune, yeah? That's fine, of course. Let's just sleep. We both have a long road ahead of us tomorrow. And you wake up and notice anything different? Robbed in my sleep. Everything's gone. Money, weapons, even the letter. All I have now is that dagger and a few coins. The dagger we got from that crate. Must have been Adeon. I need to equip myself again or I won't survive long. Maybe I can find help in that village to the north. But yeah, see? He even took my pants. I don't want to know how he pulled that off in my sleep. Good thing it's just a gamer. That'd be pretty creepy. And... ooh, forgot to show you guys how a quick save. You see those three little buttons next to the movement circle? Oh, and that, underneath the white letters, that shows your location, how many days you've been playing the game, and the current time in-game. This is your map. The map of the area you're in, with the little compass, and world map. And it'll even show you which areas are classified as certain things, which helps out with a lot of quests. But, for example, unknown, you haven't explored this yet. So it doesn't matter too much if you haven't ever been there. Next to it, options, save. I still don't actually use that much, because I'm not sure if there's any difference from the button next to it. Load, you can go back to a save game. Settings, I haven't actually checked much. My language is English. Controller setup, so maybe I can move some of this around, but I like it this way. Control size are at max. Is this? Okay, so that just moves those around. And that moves them closer together. I prefer where they are. I can turn up the volume. Show the movement and attack buttons present. Yep. And you have a few different options you can use. Display numbers on HP and mana bars. I might actually start using that. It'll definitely be useful. 23 and 19, but it is hard to see a bit. But, Now, Captain Whitewater. Welcome to the village of Landagar, traveler. Here you will be safe from the goblins raiding the road. And you see, you have a few options. Help! I was robbed by a thief called Adeon. He stole my money and an important letter. Let's see. Did it happen here, in Landagar? No, it happened on the road, but it's not my business. And I warn you, Don't start a fight here, or you'll sleep in a dungeon. Now, as you can see, not being well known or anything, just some random stranger coming in complaining about getting robbed outside town. He's got his own issues to worry about. And he's not going to just help out this random guy who claims he got robbed. Fair enough, kind of jerk move, but fair enough. Now, alright, I'm looking for work. Anything to do to get a few coins? I need to get some gear again, or equip myself again. There's always stuff to do, assuming you're useful for anything else than getting robbed. I think the alchemist needs regents, and the priest of the three won't stop talking about some tomb. Or maybe you could work for me. Now, regents, not everyone knows that. Not everyone's a big bookworm like I am for this kind of stuff. Regents is the items needed to make stuff, like potions. And three, that can be explained later when you talk to the people. Because talking to people and reading books you find in the game can also give you experience. Like if you ask questions about the world, learning all the lore and stuff. For people like me who like doing that naturally, the extra XP you get from it sometimes is just icing on the cake. But for other people, it's just incentive to maybe try and learn a little bit more about the game. Because sometimes learning these random bits of lore can still save your backside. Like it can also unlock quests, give you special gear and things. So yeah. Now, I could suck up, or I could just be blunt and... Or I can say, I don't want to work with you right now. You can still come back to him maybe later, I'm not sure. Usually you can, but sometimes people only have a one and done opportunity. And if you pick the wrong option, you permanently lose the chance for that quest. I assure you I am capable if given a chance. Tell me what needs to be done. I don't know. Are you really capable of taking out a goblin patrol? Hunt down 5 goblins, and I'll consider giving you more serious work. Goblins can be found mostly to the west, towards the old mine. Do it and you'll be rewarded. And you can either sound like, I'm just in this for the money, or, right, let's get to work. This seems like a good thing. I think this is also more personal preference kind of thing. I don't think it'll actually affect the conversation. I'm gonna go with my preference. And as you can see, they like you better. And sometimes picking the right options can also improve your reputation in an area. And that comes in big in the long term. That's the spirit. You have potential. Now, let's see if you also have all your limbs when you return. So like if I just been acting... Yeah, I can see my reputation improved by +1 with the town. I don't think that would have happened if I just made it look like I was in it for the money. I mean, he knows I am, but... At least I'm not acting like that's all I care about. Now, there's the alchemist you can buy potions and stuff from. And, the different merchants in town, you can only sell certain items to certain ones of them. Like, I couldn't sell her armor and weapons. Like, if I wanted to get rid of my dagger later, I can't sell it to her. I'd have to sell it to the weaponsmith here. Or if I got a wolf pelt, I couldn't sell it to a weaponsmith. I'd have to take it to the alchemist. Some of them it's a bit trickier. Because like in towns, you'll have different people who just say trader. And different ones accept different things. It takes some work. Not everyone will have the same titles either. And this is the other alchemist. He can give you a quest to find some potion ingredients for him. And if you get them all, over time as you bring ingredients to him, he'll give you experience points. Some of these kinds of quests you have to pay a bit of money too, but it's worth it, trust me. Like this guy can give you good level healing potions if you bring him the ingredients. This is the town hall. Now, it's pretty limited in what it can help you out with if you have the free version. Because in the free version, you can't get the bonus quests from it. They're like random bounties and item searches, where once you accept the quest, in areas where you find things, there'll be like a random stronger than normal bandit or goblin or something, or extra loot. But it'll always be slightly harder than it naturally would, usually. If, like, you were in a higher level and you accepted a really good paying job, then if you went back to that area, then in the one place around where you are getting your quest done, it will be higher level enemies than normal. But as you can see, I haven't currently unlocked quests, which makes sense. That's going to take a bit. And your reputation affects how you're treated in Town Hall there. But I'm pretty sure that also means you can get better quests if you have a better reputation. I don't know how things are if you have a really bad reputation. Maybe you can get certain jobs that will work with that. But also doing quests from Town Halls will improve your reputation slowly. And like I said, it's good for golden XP. Your vaults, you have to buy access to these, but you can access them from any Town Hall. Of course, they can fill up faster than you think. Especially if you like to keep around useful items in storage. Because you only have so much inventory space. And the same goes for the vaults. So like me, I like to save up useful items and not just toss away everything except for what I got on my back. So mine are both full right now, actually, in fact, on my main game. And pay fines is where sometimes when you have a bad reputation in an area, you can pay your gold to make them overlook things a little bit. You know, it's kind of a bribe, basically, to say, I'm not that... Guys, let's just clear up this mess a little bit, and they'll look the other way on partially, but won't entirely fix your reputation. I've only had to do that once. Now see, random guards and NPCs like these won't always talk to you, but guards and soldiers in towns, if you come running back to a place with a bunch of mobs on your tail, they'll help fight them off, but you might lose your XP and loot from them too. This guy's a quest. I actually failed it the first time, so I'm going to be a bit more careful when I do it. And this is the priests. You can see little street shrines like these. Now, the priests are usually the ones you can ask questions to that will give you XP, but it also applies in other times. Like I said, reading books you find in places is part of it. And they can also give you hints on where to find things, and, again, new quests. Now, if you click the shrine, you can choose to make offerings, which will give you temporary XP boost for a week in-game. And I think if you pray for guidance, it's actually... I don't know if it actually does anything. My theory is it might regenerate mana for clerics and mages. It might only be something for clerics. I'm still not sure. But it is free to do, and it's gonna be occasionally fun, I suppose. Now, I'm gonna talk to Brother Janus. As you can see, you can pay him some gold to just get a quick healing if you don't feel like stopping by an inn for the night. Like if you have all your use of your recover button and you don't want to lose the time. Like if you have something that needs to be done quickly. You can also ask him questions about the religion. And you can ask how you can be of service to them, do jobs. I'm not going to do the job yet, I'm going to focus on the one I got from Captain Whitewater. But you can take all the quests you want at once. It's just, if you can't pull off a quest, then you're going to lose reputation, for example. But Town Hall quests are usually the only ones with timers. So far I haven't found any actual plot quests that that have to be done in a certain amount of time. So, can you answer some questions about the 3? But of course, as a humble shrine priest, I will try to answer your questions. However, if you seek true knowledge, you should visit the High Temple in Navaria. Who are the 3, exactly? They are the protectors of humanity. 100 years ago, they saved the newborn kingdom of Imara from the witches of Orog. Since then, they watch over us and guide those of us in need. They are real beings, living gods that walk among us. Now, a bunch of that information actually comes in way later in the game, because I've, only recently learned about that, for example. More about the Witches of Orog. And that's an area you could access right now in the game, but it's got really high level stuff you don't want to mess with. Well, I mean, you couldn't get all the way there, but I think. Okay, but what I mean is, how are they? Are they human-like, tiny little fairies, giants? Where do they come from? Can I go and talk to them? You should show more respect. The three are divine beings. But I understand your curiosity, for much is unknown about them. I can tell you, however, that Thelum the Wise is human-like, and talks as we do. The other two, Arbanos and Navaria, are veiled from us, but still give us, priests, their powers. Generally speaking, that refers to the cleric class. I apologize. Tell me more about Thelum the Wise. Have you ever seen him? No, but the Wise lives in his crystal palace, near the High Temple. Our Holy Queen often confers with him, and some of the exarchs also receive his teachings. It is said that he changes a man's life with just one word. Okay, I forgot about that. I need to work on that, but it's also something I can't do yet. I still don't have access to the High Temple. Answer another question for me, please. What else do you want to know? I won't be rude, but this shrine is not very impressive. Why don't the three have a bigger temple? A fair question. Here in Varsilia, the common people mostly worship the three, but the nobles stick with the old imperial religion. They don't trust us very much, so they don't allow us to build temples. Another question, please. And as you can see, that one right there is one of the questions that can be repeated to every priest. Sometimes you'll occasionally get a variance in answers on some of the repeatable questions, but no, it's pretty much the same thing every time. In some places, though, it will be a variation, and it can occasionally still give you the XP. Everybody around here worship the three, or are there other cults and priests? There are, of course, many cults, including the old imperial religion, but we, the priests of the three, are the only ones that have divine powers. We can heal the injured or destroy the undead. That's why most people in the kingdom pray to the three now. And that's enough for now. I must be going. And as you can see, learn something important, makes you more experienced. I got 210 XP for all that. Now if you talk to her. Hello, traveler. I wouldn't walk north into Segal Forest if I were you. You're obviously a novice adventurer without the right equipment, and wolves will slaughter you. Hunt down a few goblins first, and equip yourself well. As you can see, I'm not the best at doing all these voices, and I'm definitely not doing a girly voice because I just suck at that. Have you seen someone called Adeon around here? No, I'm sorry, I haven't met your friend. Not exactly my friend. Well, thanks anyways. Here's the inn. Most of them follow the same design. Have the sign there. You can see that little icon for the interaction. That's for the inn, a little campfire. And all of them are shaped that way. So you can also spot them fairly easily on the map, but sometimes other buildings will have similar shapes, so that can get confusing. Random statues like this, sometimes they'll be relevant that you can examine, but usually they're just decoration. And the other person, June Kamlavi right there, you can see her icon next to the weaponsmiths. If I talk to her and I have enough gold, I can hire her as a mercenary to work with me. Mercenaries, they die a lot for me. Based on how much you're asked to pay for them, will have something to do with their level, for example. Like if you're paying for a cheap one, they're going to be pretty weak. And they just attack any enemy they see. Whereas with a proper companion, they're like individual characters who can join you to work with you and actually level up. Mercenaries stay the same level the whole time. And the only interaction you can have with them after you've hired them is a few questions. Like you can ask them to move out of the way if they're getting in the way of you interacting with something or someone else. You can tell them, I don't need your help anymore, you're done. And they'll leave, which I've never actually done, they always die first. And then you can just say, nothing, let's move on. I have 18 gold to my name right now, I cannot hire even the weakest mercenary. I could barely afford a room at the inn, in fact, so I need to kill stuff first. So I am actually going to do a quick save. This means I don't have to hang out in the inn. It's that little icon next to the gear. I don't think I actually told you guys about it earlier, and I said I would. I'm sorry. So, quick save. Quick save successful. And that's all, everyone. Have a good day.